Welcome to GDs. And this is Bridgerton Season 1. Season starts in 1813, with the beginning of London's social season. And we are introduced to two families. One being Featheringtons, having 3 debutante daughters. And the other, Bridgertons, with 1 debutante daughter. And all the debutantes for the social season are introduced to the Queen. Queen Charlotte gives her high praise to Daphne Bridgerton over other debutantes. And a mysterious writer, by the name of Lady Whistledown, is writing and sharing her unfiltered opinions about London's social season. In the Featheringtons' house, one of the distant cousins of Lord Featherington, Marina Thompson, comes to stay with them. And she will be under the supervision of Lady Featherington for the season. And now she is responsible for finding a suitable match for 4 ladies in her household. We are also introduced to Simon Bassett, the Duke of Hastings, returning to London after his father's death. Lady Danbury makes him join the evening ball. And at the ball, Anthony Bridgerton, the eldest brother of Daphne Bridgerton, and the lord of the Bridgerton house, feeling protective for Daphne, drives away few potential suitors. But Daphne has caught the eye of Lord Burbrook, who lets her know of his interest in her. And Colin Bridgerton, the younger brother of the Bridgerton household, has also shown his likeness towards Marina Thompson. And it is at this ball, Daphne and Simon meet each other for the first time, after accidentally bumping. And we learn that Simon and Anthony are good friends. The next day, many suitors approach for Marina Thompson, but practically none for Daphne, except Lord Burbrook. And Lady Whistledown writes that the diamond of the season, Daphne Bridgerton, might have to settle for a simpleton. Lady Danbury and Lady Bridgerton come up with a plan to get Daphne and Simon close. And thus, Simon is invited for dinner at the Bridgerton house. Anthony, being a good friend of Simon, lets her mother know that he is not a good match for Daphne. And his mother makes Anthony realize his duties as the lord of the house. And Anthony, realizing this, breaks up with his mistress, Sienna Rosso, and promises Daphne to Lord Burbrook without asking her. And at the evening ball, Simon is surrounded, as being a duke, he is the most prestigious suitor for any lady in this season. But Simon is not interested in marriage, and thus keeping his distance. And during the ball, as Lord Burbrook tries to get aggressive with Daphne, she knocks him out. Simon also reaches there, and knowing that Lady Whistledown has proclaimed him to be the best suitor, and now every mama in London is after him, comes up with a plan. He tells Daphne that they will make everyone believe that they are interested in each other, giving both of them what they want, that is, for him to be unavailable, and for her to be desirable. And Daphne agrees, and as they share their first dance, they become the talk of the town. On the other hand, Lady Featherington figures out that Marina is pregnant, and thus has stopped her from going to the balls. We also get to learn more about Simon's childhood. And we find out that his mother died giving him birth. And his father was happy for the son, but rejected him after discovering his stammer. It is when Lady Danbury came to his aid, guiding him in managing his stammer and supervising his education. And Simon excelled in all the skills. Growing up away from his father, he wrote letters to him, informing him about his progress. But his father never replied to any of them. And even when he visited, his father dismissed him. And on his father's deathbed, Simon, knowing that his father never even opened any of the letters he sent, vows and lets him know that he will never sire an heir, and the Hastings name will die with him. At Featherington's, Marina remains confined to her room, but shares with Penelope that her child was conceived in love with a man named Sir George Crane, who is fighting in Spain. And she has written to him and is now waiting for his letter. On the other hand, Simon and Daphne's ruse works perfectly. But Anthony is upset. And when Simon tells Anthony what Lord Burbrook tried to do with Daphne, Anthony cancels his offer with Lord Burbrook. But Lord Burbrook acquires a special marriage license to Daphne, and threatens to ruin her name if she doesn't marry him. It is when Lady Bridgerton works her magic, and invites Lord Burbrook's mother for tea. And her housemaids were able to dig out a scandal. And as Lady Whistledown writes about them, Lord Burbrook is forced to leave London, and Daphne is free. As Simon and Daphne spend more time together, their friendship grows, and they get closer, leading to Daphne turning down multiple proposals. In addition, while admiring a painting, we learn that both of them have started to develop feelings for each other. It is when Queen's nephew visits the city, And he is a handsome and a kind prince. Lady Danbury tells Simon that he needs to propose to Daphne, or step aside to make way for a superior match. And Simon, knowing he cannot marry, decides to call off the ruse with Daphne. The Queen schemes to match Daphne with her nephew, as Daphne is the diamond of this season. And Daphne, though upset, but knowing Simon has decided to move on, charms the prince. And seeing this, Simon decides to leave London early. On the other hand, Lady Featherington tries to match Marina, but she waits for George to write back. And knowing this, Lady Featherington forges a letter on behalf of George, which lets Marina know that he is not coming. In addition, he bears no responsibility for her or her child. Marina is broken, and now agrees to marry. And Lady Featherington presents Marina to older suitors who want an heir, in an effort to marry her quickly. But she is reluctant and is rescued by Colin. Prince Friedrich invites Daphne to the palace, and gifts her a beautiful necklace. And they attend a boxing match, where Simon and Daphne glance at each other. On the other hand, Eloise Bridgerton, the younger sister of Daphne, is mesmerized by the writing of Whistledown, and decides that she will find out Lady Whistledown's true identity. And at the evening ball, as Prince Friedrich prepares to propose, an undecided Daphne flees to the garden, as she is not ready, and keeps thinking of Simon. It is when Simon approaches her, to say goodbye and apologize. But Daphne is upset, and turns away, and Simon starts to follow her. And they end up passionately kissing each other. Anthony interrupts them, and demands that Simon marries Daphne. But Simon refuses, and Anthony challenges him to a duel at dawn. Anthony lets his brother Benedict know that once he is gone, it will be him who will become the lord of the house. As if he wins, he has to flee, as duels are prohibited, and if he loses, he will be dead. In addition, he plans to use the duel to free himself from society and be with Sienna. Daphne realizes that Cressida Cooper, her rival for Prince Friedrich's affections, witnessed what happened in the garden, and races to stop the duel, knowing that what happened in the garden will come out anyways. And she was able to reach just in time. Simon tells her that the reason he cannot marry her is because he cannot provide her with children. And Daphne, weighing her options, declares that they will marry anyway. On the other hand, Lady Featherington discovers the extent of her husband's gambling debts. In addition, she wants Marina to focus on the suitor whom she has chosen, and to cut out Colin's. But Marina lets her know that if she can secure an offer from the Bridgerton, then the union of their families will give more options for her 3 daughters, and Lady Featherington gives her few days to secure an offer. But Penelope is not happy with it, as she has a soft corner for Collins, and doesn't want him to be duped. Whereas, Benedict gets to explore his artistic side. And Anthony promised to take care of Sienna no matter what, but when he returns he finds that Sienna has left town. On the other hand, Daphne lets the prince know that her heart is not with him, and they part ways. But the queen is upset with this, and wants the prince to fight. But the prince has decided to move on. Daphne and Simon petition for a special license, in order to get married at the earliest, but the license is refused. And Lady Danbury knows that it is because of the queen, and they need to plead their case to her. Simon and Daphne appeal to the queen for an early wedding. And the queen is moved by Simon's impassioned plea. And Simon and Daphne are married in a simple church ceremony. And at the wedding reception, Marina gets a proposal from Collins, but with the request of a long engagement. And the queen takes interest in Eloise's investigation, in finding out the true identity of Lady Whistledown. Lady Bridgerton and Daphne's conversation about sex leaves Daphne with more questions than answers. But before she could learn more, it was time for her to leave. Simon and Daphne stay at an inn on their way to Clevedon. And Daphne finally confronts Simon over his avoidance of her, and the pair realize that they are madly in love with each other, and consummate their marriage. But Simon stops just before, so that Daphne doesn't get pregnant. Simon and Daphne, as the Duke and the new Duchess, arrive at Clevedon for their honeymoon, and spend much time together, romantically and sexually. In addition, Daphne and Simon mingle with the villagers, where Simon learns that his tenants are in distress, and thus he turns his attention to books, to help them provide better living conditions. Whereas Daphne offended the villagers by not being able to pick a winning pig at the fair, and she corrects her mistake once she got to know this. In addition, Daphne also learns from Mrs. Coulson about Simon's upbringing. And talking with her, she realized something, And with the help of her lady's maid, she finally understood that Simon can have children, and he is physically capable, but he chooses not to do so. And in order to test this theory, the next time they make love, Daphne takes charge, and Simon is not able to stop. Daphne is upset and angry with him and confronts him and blames him for being ambiguous about his inability and lying to her. Meanwhile, back in London, Colin announces his engagement to Marina, and this surprises everyone, and Anthony shows his disappointment. Penelope tries to break the engagement by letting Colin know that Marina is in love with another man. But Colin is in love with her, and doesn't consider it to be a reason, as now she is choosing to be with him. And Marina tricks him into marrying sooner than their families desire, by traveling to Scotland. Penelope, trying to stop the marriage, discovers that George's letters were faked, but Marina chooses to marry Colin anyway, intending to move on from George. But before they could leave, Lady Whistledown publishes Marina's secret, shocking Colin and the entire society of London. Simon and Daphne's dispute continues, and Daphne decides to return to London after Lady Whistledown's latest publication surfaces. In London, Eloise prepares for her debut, and continues to try to uncover Lady Whistledown, now in order to convince her to restore the Featherington name. And as Daphne reaches London, she arranges a chaperone meeting for Colin and Marina, so that they could have closure. On the other hand, Simon lets Daphne know, if she will not be with a child, they will live separate lives. But in any case, she will always be taken care of. The Queen is impatient with Eloise's progress in uncovering Lady Whistledown, and lets her know that she is looking into her on her own. In addition, the Queen throws the Featheringtons out of her luncheon because of Marina's scandal. Daphne, deciding to help Marina, tries to locate Sir George, whereas a broken Marina attempts to end her pregnancy. Daphne also learns about Simon's childhood from Lady Danbury, and reads the letters that Simon sent to his father, which he never opened. And now, she somewhat understands why he does not want to have children. On the other hand, Lord Featherington approaches Will to convince him to throw his next fight, as it will be a sure result, and he will bet accordingly, and they both can have a fortune. And Lord Featherington, in order to bet, had to raise money against the house. And Will throws the fight, and they both enjoy the winnings. At the opera, Daphne begins bleeding and cries in her mother's arms, with Simon overhearing. And Eloise, returning with his brother, realizes that Genevieve, whom he picks up, is the most likely person to be Lady Whistledown. And at the Featheringtons, Sir Philip Crane arrives to tell Marina that George, his brother, died in battle. In addition, Marina finds out that George intended to marry her. Philip offers to marry Marina himself, but she turns him down, thinking that she has ended her pregnancy, and thus he need not provide for her, out of obligation. Whereas, Eloise confronts Genevieve, and believing her to be Lady Whistledown, tries to convince her to write in Featherington's favor. As Simon and Daphne prepare for the final ball before they separate, Daphne invites him to spend time with his family. And Simon, after spending time with her family, has started reconsidering his options. Anthony invites Sienna to Daphne and Simon's ball, but Sienna tells Anthony to move on. Whereas, the Queen's agent's attempt to capture Lady Whistledown is spoiled, as Eloise tips her off. And at the ball, Simon and Daphne finally reconcile. And Simon understands that his love for Daphne is far greater than his hatred for his father. And they get back together in every possible way. On the other hand, as the ladies of the Featheringtons' house return, they find that their lord was murdered, and all the winnings were gone. Marina discovers that she is still pregnant, and thus departs London to marry Philip. And Lady Featherington gets to know the name of the person who will inherit the estate. And at the Bridgertons, Colin leaves for the world tour and Penelope is not able to confess her love for him. And Anthony announces that he will find a wife without love. And Eloise realizes that Genevieve is not Lady Whistledown, and it is revealed to us that Lady Whistledown is Penelope. And as the season ends, Daphne and Simon have their first child, a son. Thanks for watching. And if you liked it, please subscribe.